NFL draft, you guys. So each day leading up to next Thursday, our analysts will be breaking down their top 10 mock drafts for us. Joining us today is DraftKings contributor Reid Fowler. So Reid, the expectation, of course, is Clemson's Trevor Lawrence goes number 1 to the Jags. Okay, Emerson. BYU Zach Wilson goes number 2 to the Jets. Okay, Kenny. Did you deviate from that at all with your top 2 picks?
I tried to, Jesse. I really tried to. I personally think Justin Fields is my second best quarterback in this draft. But Zach Wilson, like nothing has, and this is how we're supposed to see like how it's supposed to go, right? Not what we think is going to happen, now what we want to happen. And I do think that Zach Wilson is going to the Jets. I think when you take a look at what he's able to do with his arm strength, the quote-unquote moxie he has for the New York media, I think that all plays extremely well. And they need an adrenaline rush in that offense right now, and that's Zach Wilson. So I think he's going number 2 there.
All right, one of the more intriguing picks is now San Francisco at number 3 after moving up in a trade with Miami. They're likely targeting a quarterback here. So who do you have going to the Niners?
Yeah, it's not Mac Jones. And look, the one thing I will say about Mac Jones is that he's getting a lot of negative publicity because he's been tied to this number 3 spot. He's not a bad quarterback. I still think he's a first-round quarterback. I have him going in the teens, potentially someone trading up to get a guy like Mac Jones, but not this far, Jesse. I have Justin Fields going to San Francisco. You take a look at what he's done, the wins that he's had against really strong competition in big games. Yes, he had 2 bad games, Northwestern and Indiana. And a lot of people are looking at those 2 bad games, a couple of bad throws that he's made. And I don't think that's the case. Give me Justin Fields. I think he fits in that Shanahan offense. He can sit maybe behind Garoppolo. We'll see what happens, but I like Fields number 3.
All right, Reid, Lawrence, Wilson, Fields. Do you have any other quarterbacks going in the top 10?
Trey Lance is the guy that is probably going to be the one that we can see. I can see him as far, Jesse, as number 3, right? He's got that type of upside. I don't think it happens. But, Atlanta, they're in the best position. I tweeted this out earlier. Like, they have the best position in the draft where they can either take one of those, Trey Lance or Fields, whoever falls to them, Wilson maybe. They can trade that pick to someone who wants one of those quarterbacks and get a bounty for it, like Miami did, or like San Francisco did, like how Miami received, or they can take the heir apparent to Matt Ryan. I do think Kyle Pitts does go there, stays there if Atlanta stays. But Trey Lance is a guy that a lot of teams are looking to potentially trade up for. Okay,
so do you think Atlanta takes the quarterback, or do you think that they're going to trade that pick?
Oh, man. I got back and forth. I think 51% of me says that they stay with that pick and go with Kyle Pitts, because he is a transcendent talent. You take a look at what he's able to do. He really is a wide receiver playing tight end. I mean, that's how good he is. And that's what the position is now, right? We see Travis Kelce, Evan Ingram. Sure, Evan Ingram has been on a downturn, but that's what you want, the Darren Wallers of the world. These guys are big receivers. I think Pitts stays at that number 4 spot. If not, I think they trade that pick away to someone like Denver or maybe even New England. I don't think New England does it, but I think Denver is probably the one team that probably would trade up for them and try and get one of those quarterbacks.
All right, taking a look at the rest of your board, can you quickly break down the rest of the picks in the top 10, Reid?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of offensive linemen that are going to go, obviously, in the top 10. Penny Sewell, I think, has to go to Cincinnati. They need to protect Joe Burrow. He's a guy that, yes, he's been lobbying for Jamar Chase to go there, but I do think Penny Sewell goes to Cincinnati. Jamar Chase is the first receiver, I think, that goes off the board there at Miami. And if things, Jesse, if things don't pan out and we see a guy like Pitts fall, I think Pitts goes to Miami there. But I think you see Jamar Chase, a pass catcher for Tua Tagovailoa. Devonte Smith coming in at number 7 there. With all the receivers that left Detroit, you're going to need someone to fill that void. And then you see my second offensive tackle, Rashawn Slater. Slater can play everywhere on the line. He's that versatile. And then Trey Lance, I do have him going to Denver there if they don't trade up. And if all of the rumors don't get too high boiled that Trey Lance is going number 3, I think they stay there. And number 10, I think Patrick Surtain. I think that's one of the sure bets right now is Dallas taking a cornerback. I know they acquired 4 cornerbacks, DBs, in the free agent market over this past few months, but none of them have the upside as Surtain does. He's a physical cornerback. He's got ties to guys like Jalen Ramsey. or comps, excuse me, to guys like Jalen Ramsey. That's high marks for him. Surtain comes from a legacy of great football with his father who played in Miami. So that's my top 10, Jesse.